Right now I'm working with, I have some French toast and some sunny side up eggs.
Okay. Late breakfast, man.
You know how it is as a creative. I know for sure that you wake up at like 2.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I eat cereal at random times in the day.
I don't think Jus Jay is super disciplined. He's a 2 p.m. raiser.
Oh yeah.
What are you having today?
I'm having a chicken Alfredo. That's actually my favorite dish in the world. Yeah. Well, I mean a chicken or a shrimp Alfredo, but I wanted a chicken Alfredo today. I'm feeling more in the chicken vibe. But
have you ever had the chicken Alfredo from Surfer's Cafe before?
Yeah, like I live like 5 minutes down the road, so like I get this all the time.
I know you're a South Coaster like me.
Yeah, like this is actually a pretty like famous Alfredo on this coast.
Do you have a go-to meal before you do like big performances?
Not necessarily, to be honest. I do like to make sure to have a meal before I eat, because honestly, like
before you play.
Yeah, before I play, sorry. Because like I feel like a lot of the times, even though like I've been doing it for a long time, sometimes I still get that butterflies kind of feeling, and that's not a nice feeling on an empty stomach. So
yeah, me personally, I try to eat at least 4 hours before.
Right. Because
of the same reason. You don't really want to get nauseous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I find it hard to do that.
Correct.
I've known you for a while, Jus.
Okay.
Times that some of your fans don't know about. I know you from being a graphic artist. I know you from turning into a vocal artist.
Right.
A recording artist.
Right.
Days and shipping when it was before it was sugar. I know you going back to graphic artists. I'm not gonna make fun of your white aviators either. You used to perform them, but I remember. Then I remember all of a sudden, Jus Jay was a DJ.
Yeah. I am a DJ right now, I guess.
Well, just running through the story. And I remember first time hearing you in shipping, and you were actually pretty decent. You weren't great yet, but you were pretty decent. But I remember back then hearing mixed reactions from people.
Yeah, definitely.
How was entering the game and quote unquote trying to DJ according to people?
I actually still have a Facebook screenshot. I keep it with me all the time. From the very first picture of me DJing with the headphones on. And no likes, one comment saying like, what are you doing, Justin? Like, I keep it with me to remind me. Everybody starts somewhere. I never felt offended. I always felt like, at the point that I decided to start DJing, I had been through being a break dancer, being a singer, being a graphic artist, and I had already gone through the start up of those of people being like, what are you doing, to, oh my God, I want to be a part of what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like for me, like I took all the blows, and I said, you know, like this is all for a time. Everybody starts at that part, and you know, so I had already been seasoned through the ha ha ha, look at you.
In other ways.
You know, so like for me it was like whatever, like you're gonna see in a bit like what I'm capable of doing, you know?
I mean, fast forward to the last couple of years, you've been maybe the second most, if not one of the most internationally requested DJs from Barbados.
Right. Yeah.
And I've seen you travel a lot of places, Miami.
Yeah.
What was your most memorable trip?
The most memorable trip would have been like right at the end of 2017, and that would have been the Uber Soca Cruise. Even though I am a guy that likes to do open format, the Uber Soca Cruise, even though it was a one genre booking, it was...
Which is strange, because I was expecting you to tell me one of the festivals that you went to, because I know you as a dance music, EDM music.
I mean, back in that time, that was pretty impactful for me, but it was in my younger years, and I didn't know how to make the most of the experience, you know? So it was more like, wow, look at Carnage, or wow, look at this guy that I only see on the internet. But with Uber Soca Cruise, it was amazing networking. It was getting one-on-one with people in the industry that you wouldn't get a chance to speak with, you know. I actually introduced KES the band to a song that I produced for them before they even knew who I was. I mean, yeah, that it was like 4 days, 5 nights, you know, of all the top soca entertainers across the region.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah,
cruise.
like
Almost every girl that I know.
yeah.
Fast forward through DJing,
Right.
taking over a certain element in Barbados.
Okay.
We arrived this year at the RedBull 3Style competition. To the cameras that aren't there.
Which is actually the most impactful experience today. But,
Of course.
you know.
So, you know, we all know last year,
Yep.
Puffy
Homeboy, yeah.
tried it out, ended up not making it through, then making it through as a wild card, to going on to winning the competition with a lot of following. That's where the story started.
Yep.
So a year later,
Yeah.
we have Jus Jay.
Yeah.
What led you to this decision?
To be honest, when Puffy first submitted his video, he submitted it like a day before the deadline. And like when he submitted the video, I remember he posted this Snapchat, like, I mean an Instagram story, just like doing something like this, saying, wish me good luck. And like the 3Style logo in the box. Immediately I messaged him, I was like, how are you allowed to enter? Because as far as I know, we don't have a country, was like a country final, because like all the countries involved have a final.
Right.
And then he explained to me, well, if you read through the 3Style, you would see that they actually have what's called a wild card, where you could be from anywhere in the world, and if you're dope enough, they'll choose you to be a finalist.
That's crazy.
You know? And one, it was too late to even try to think about that, and two, like, I wouldn't have gone and tried to compete against Puffy as well, you know, like to get the wild card slot. So that wasn't even an option anyway. And from the moment that he told me that, like, I knew what I had to do. Like, I've been following the competition for a while, you know, like, I like creative stuff, and like the 3Style is a very creative expression of party rocking DJing, you know.
It does kind of suit like DJs from this area too, because it's not just technically based, it's also based on moving the crowd.
Exactly.
And you know, Barbados is one of those tough crowds.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that is the reason why you guys both made it to the competition actually.
Yeah, I mean, interesting about that, like I didn't win the competition, but I definitely made an impact, you know. And I remember during my performance, and Puffy actually raised it to my attention, Serato, which is a company that makes the DJ software that we use, they commented on the live stream.
Like your live stream?
On the 3Style live stream while I was DJing.
And that's you,
Serato,
like, that is the brand of DJ.
Yeah, like they were like, yo, like a DJ Puffy Jus Jay show would be incredible. And I mean, hint, Puffy had been telling me about this for the longest of times. Well, you know.
Tell me if I was supposed to have an event with two of you guys in
boy.
Alright, I said it first.
And then one of the judges, DJ Craze, who's like a legendary DMC 3-time champion, like legendary DJ. He commented while I was DJing and saying, wow, like the Caribbean has the most energetic DJs in the world.
And I agree, and
Crazy,
same reason we said, just a hard crowds to please, and having an understanding of multi-genres. Yep. I think that definitely ended up working for a lot of Bajan DJs. Oh yeah. I mean, you said you didn't win, but every progression is a win in any, you know, in any format of anything that you're approaching. So explain to someone who's a huge Jus Jay fan that might not get the opportunity to speak to you, how this competition has benefited you for the future. Like, what opportunities are now presented to you? What has opened up for you? I know you might not be able to grasp everything, but if you could just touch on one or two things for someone that's, you know, looking on at Jus Jay saying, man, I really want that guy to win.
Yeah. I remember posting on Instagram before I even performed saying, I can't lose even if I lose. There was no way that I could lose from that experience. I came back home with a heap of business cards, a heap of new Instagram friends in the industry, from legendary DJs to DJ software production companies like RecordBox, Pioneer DJ, Serato, you know, even DJ City. Like I've got all these guys' contact information. I know all these guys personally now, you know. So like walking away from this experience, like I've also learned. You know, I remember when Scratch Bastard called me on the phone, he was like, you're one of the wild cards. And I was like, yo, I have a month to prep 2 15-minute intense routines, you know. That made me a solid DJ at the moment in comparison to a month before. So like when I said I can't lose, even if I lose, I meant that like I am a better DJ all rounded. Like
just from the experience alone.
Yeah, from the experience, even from the phone call. Like that's when the experience started. That was when the practice started. You know. So yeah.
So you said you spoke to Scratch Bastard. Did you get any advice from any Beijing DJs while entering the competition?
No. You know, Puffy's a busy guy. He's busy doing his own thing. I kind of try to do as much research as I could online. I've watched like every 3Style video, which if I had more time I would go on to tell you how that actually became my worst enemy. But I did a lot of research and I figured out, you know, how to kind of bring my own energy, my own Caribbean appeal, while still finding a way to translate it to people from Poland who are not necessarily in the Caribbean vibe. So I'm not selling out my vibe, but I'm gonna find a way to put it across.
Blend it with, you know? Definitely. Which is kind of what you already practice doing, because I find that the element that you control. You know, you came up with Liquid, and you definitely understand a certain side of the crossover. So talking about progression as well, most top tier DJs break into production. You don't really see DJs rising to the top without being a beat maker or a producer of some sort.
In today's world,
I had seen the Marsville track that you did. That was pretty dope. But let's talk about this KES sleeper for Carnival. Because a lot of people don't know that you produced this song.
You know, it was I met a songwriter through a DJ friend of mine.
The song which is I
Shall Return. Yeah, by KES.
Right.
So I met a songwriter from Trinidad. His name is Jovan James. He would have wrote like Crop Over Good Morning, All the Way. Not All the Way, I like Crop Over Good Morning, and like a heap of like hit songs and like Dirty Habits for Father Fox, and he was ripped from Mashal and so on.
Right, I'm familiar.
He came here to work with Father Fox, and I met him through a DJ partner of mine, Rated R from Trinidad, who was also in Barbados, and he was staying by me. And ever since I met him, you know, like we became close, and every time he come, he would link me up. And I was trying to really get into the production and, you know, like just try a hand at it. And I messaged him, you know, if you got anything, send me. If you got any music, any songs, send me. And one night he was watching a movie and he caught this idea for like the vibe of the song.
Right.
And he just sent me like a voice note, just like mumbling some stuff. And for me, like, I was real excited about it because I was like, yeah, but I really want to like kind of test how I could do, you know, and try it out and see what he thinks. So I actually took it and put it in, and I actually, because obviously we touched on, I used to be a singer, I actually re-sang the song because it was just a voice note. So I re-sang the song so that I could like get a nice clean slate, and then I started like building all the music. And then the thought process into it was like, okay, so I'm from Barbados, I want to kind of put some kind of a Bajan vibe to it to kind of separate me from a Trinidadian producer. So
for sure, I
decided to go after like an old time soca, like an old time Barbadian soca bass, so just like a boom boom, a boom boom, a boom boom. And then I used my electronic music element of my DJ career, and I kind of put in some electronic lines. So what I did is I kind of kept the authentic old time soca feel with like a modern EDM type synth melody on top,
which is pretty much your brand right now. If you think about it, you are a cross between that world and the soca world. I think that's what your fans look for from you. Like so, generally speaking. So that, I mean, it did work. I mean, last I checked, it was approaching steadily to half a million listens on YouTube. And anyone that went to Carnival, I'm sure they're aware of that track, and they probably didn't know that you had anything to do with it.
A lot of people don't, you know. And that was in the 3Style with the tie-in and get
so to really
get
to brush your shoulder.
But
off, right?
it was definitely a dark horse for Carnival. Everybody kept sending me videos all the time, and it was a real good feeling, man. Real good feeling.
You guys are such an inspiration, clearly, for any upcoming DJ. So where really are all of the young DJs? I find that pretty strange. I have a theory that, because I mean, I remember when you guys emerged, when Puffy emerged, like there's a whole slew of DJs emerging. But no, you don't really see that many emerging. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm talking locally.
You might be wrong. There are DJs, but
a lot.
We've kind of grown past it. So like in our era, we would have known.
I actually talked to a lot of. As you know, I work with a lot of younger artists too. And I've been speaking to them. They don't really. When I ask them about DJs, they usually call one or two names. Honestly, I have this theory. I have a theory that is about, you know, like, I feel like social media has bred a new set of people that can't really show out unless it's behind the camera.
Okay.
But if I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong. Do you know these?
That is a good point, though.
Do you know these younger DJs?
I do know them, but
these guys
I
are
do
in
a
touch
lot
with the
of
entertainment industry, teenagers. They told me the same thing.
I'll
they
tell you
always
what I
mention
think.
2 names to me.
Here's what I think. From very young, and I could speak on behalf of me, Puffy, even guys like Ras. From young, when we all started out as DJs, we all had solid business structure behind us. When I started to DJ, I was 19, but I said, well, hey, I'm not gonna just go out there and wait for somebody to book me. I started an event. I started Liquid at Club Extreme. Nobody came for a whole year. I kept doing it, losing money, pushing the brand.
No one came for the whole first year of Liquid?
Yeah, like, no one has like 10, 20 people here, 50 people here, you know, until we
I know Liquid has a 1,500 person event and 2,000.
It built
2,000 person
over
event.
time, you know. But Liquid on Saturdays, which is what it was called when it was in Club Extreme, every Saturday, you know, like with DJ Puffy, like he started out with Future and Dream Rail. You know, there was a structure behind him. You know, like they had their photo shoots together, they had their mixtapes together. He always had the latest equipment. DJ Ross, similar to me, started out with the events and different stuff. You know, so these days I find a lot of young DJs, they kind of just popping up and saying, "Yo, give me a chance." And for a guy like me, I kind of look at them like, nobody gave me a chance. Like, I'm not just gonna give you a chance. Like, I'll help you, I'll guide you, but like, come work, show me your logo, show me what you intend to do, what's your plan over the next 2 years.
You always ask someone what's their plan, they never have one.
Yeah.
Even when I was doing Yellow Booth, like, you know, a lot of artists would come and say they want a piece in the Yellow Booth, and then I would ask them, and then what? And they would never know, so.
That's the problem.
You know,
so that's what I would say. I find that I haven't really found a youngster that really has a solid plan as to where they're trying to go and how they're trying to get there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so I guess your advice to them is similar to mine. Come up with a plan.
Yeah.
And actually have some drive to do a little bit more than you have to.
Yeah.
Or want to. You have to do what you have to, kind of.
Yeah.
How did you strike a balance? Speaking of what you have to do, let's switch it to brands now.
Right.
For their understanding. You entered, am I right in saying dance music, EDM music, that was your world, right?
Yep.
That was your brand. Eventually, maybe from inception, but eventually it crossed over into soca.
Music generally.
Not fully, but you know, the blend. I guess, yes. I guess soca music moved a little towards that.
Right.
And they kind of moved a little towards like more rhythmic dance music.
Right.
But coming up in Barbados, where you know the main genres are dancehall, soca,
and a little
you know what I
hip-hop
mean? I find like that's one similarity that we share, other than being Geminis, is that you know, kind of doing something that is not necessarily, or wasn't when I started, the mainstream thing that people are looking for, but finding a way to make it work. How did you strike the balance and maintain your brand in Barbados while holding on to the brand of what you originally wanted to do?
Wow, it takes time. That's crazy because I still feel, and like I actually still feel like I haven't fully found it. Believe it or not, like it does a work in progress, man. Like honestly, it's not something, and that's another thing with the topic on the younger DJs. Like, be prepared to take time to figure out who you are and where you're gonna go. It could take years. It might take you 2 years. It might take you 5, 10 years. You never know. Like it takes time to figure out how to get these things done. For me, the way that I did it is I had to leave it behind, go into the mainstream, and then come back for it.
Right.
And then bring it into mainstream with me. Does that make sense?
I understand, because I understand.
I had to leave it behind.
Exactly
I had to stop. I had to stop doing the parties. I had to go and like be mainstream. And don't get me wrong, like I am a music man. I come from a music family. My dad is a musician. My dad started off band circuits in St. Lawrence Gap.
Really?
Yeah, my dad started like band circuits with the shipping circuit I ended up singing on years and years later.
White aviators.
The white aviators. You know, I had to. I didn't mind going into the mainstream because I like music, but what I always liked more than even electronic music or mainstream was a fusion, just like you said. I love to fuse music with Liquid. I ended up doing a 2-stage music festival with all music plus electronic music, you know.
Some classic stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that you do see in larger territories is these same niches that we appeal to.
Right.
you usually do find a somewhat older crowd that meshes with the younger crowd that kind of controls things and carries it on further. Whereas here, after a certain age, it's like everybody gets a day job and just does all-inclusive showcase events, right? That's
drastic difference.
You know what I mean?
They don't mesh.
Yeah, it's kind of like not cool to kind of run with those cool cultures when you after a certain age. So
that was actually one of my challenges coming up as well.
Mine too.
I had to transition from being the guy, because I started at 19 with the DJing. Like around 25, I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm not in the teenager category anymore.
Yeah.
I had to find a way to transition out. That was in the days of Preva. Like I started moving into different waters, you know.
You did, which is where traveling comes in, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it is striking the balance between traveling and building on what you have here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people always try to tell people like me and you need to leave here, you need to do, but it is about leaving here, but it's also about maintaining what you have here, because the reason you got invited over there is because of what you did here.
Very true.
So if you leave what you have here, then you have nothing over there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's funny you should say that, because in the 3Style, it was a hard process. In that 1 month, I had to prepare 2 15-minute sets of what my track list was going to be, because it's not like walking into a fete and playing songs. You're doing tricks and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, you're doing enough work for like 3 DJ sets put together.
Real focus.
You know? So in the thought process of that, like, it was like, how do I, like, not, how would they understand this music? Will they understand my music? Like, will they understand what the words are saying? And
my favorite part was the Biggie, when you cut up the Biggie, way back.
Yeah.
Way back, and then playing old tracks. That part was
pretty sick.
Yeah,
it was that was actually.
And they reacted to that. Like,
yeah,
they really reacted to that.
So that was like on the hip hop vibe, and then like before that, I did like a Caribbean vibe. Like I featured like Jaguar the Champ.
Yeah,
I chopped up his song, but then I put it on like an electronic hip hop type beat.
I remember the ad-lib.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually my voice. Saying Call Blair. Like, I wanted to make sure that I stapled my who I am while still finding a way, and it leads back to what we were talking about fusion. So it's still me. I still me, but we're fusing. We translating it so that you can understand me and I can understand you.
It's like a perfect compromise and blend.
Exactly.
Right?
So
that Call Blair was pretty authentic. So before we go, because I think I'm going to get this to go, what is wrong? Give me a synopsis and a summary. What is wrong with the industry here? What do we need? Sorry, what is wrong with the industry here? Who is to blame, and what do we need to do?
Honestly,
and this is entertainment, not just DJing, entertainment period. And this is probably outside of soca maybe,
right?
But you could also attach that if you see problems there as well.
All right, so I don't like to. One of the things that because I've done this a lot, even coming up until late last year, where I do a lot of the blaming game, and I think that this person should do this and should.
So rather, let me say not blame. Who do we need to put in place of whatever suggestions you have?
I don't know what you need to put in place, but I know what I'm doing personally to assist in what the problem is. So here's what I think the problem. Let's start with what I think the problem is.
Right.
I think that the problem is lack of education. To start with, that is hands down one of the biggest problems, and you can look at it across all the spectrums. Lack of education in terms of technical, in terms of technique, teaching people how to do things the right way, DJing wise, business wise, whatever, marketing wise. Like everything, like that to me, that is the problem, is lack of education. You know, like going into the 3Style, I would have stood a way better chance if I had some insight into the competition.
Right.
If I had some knowledge of the competition from an inside perspective, you know, and like that to me, that's not even a hit at Puffy or anything. Like he's a busy guy, you know, but like if I had somebody like a Puffy that's been in it before to say, well, you know, mistakes I make. I actually spoke to him after my set. He was like, you know, you did this and this wrong, and I was like, you know, this is a bit too late.
You could have told me, man.
You know, and I've been back in Barbados for less than a week, and I've already spoke to Blank. I've already spoke to a couple of young DJs, and I've told them, this is my mistake. This was what was wrong, and this is why I lost. These are the things that you need to be vigilant about. You know, like my role is to better the younger generation coming up. Let them know there's no competition. I don't feel that they can come and stop me from doing anything. I want to help them because the country moves forward as a one.
It really is about building.
And that's the problem. We got people going out and they're not coming back and sharing their knowledge. come back and share what you've learned with people.
Yeah.
Come back and let them know how they can.
We definitely
also,
didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
You know what I mean? But I went
and
up
I
there
try to do that
me,
right now.
I'm bringing it back and I'm showing them, like, actually, Blank has seen my routine from the 3Style. Everything that I did. I brought him over and I showed him how I did everything. He had some problems. He stuck and he can't figure out how you put it together. I showed him, this is how I do it.
So sometimes you just need to ask a question, right?
Yeah, like.
Show your worth and ask questions.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what you do need to network. It's funny you said education because last week I talked to Rico. I had brunch with Rico Maserati, and he said education was important to him for the industry as well.
Serious?
He literally said the same thing.
Real important.
He said there are a lot of tricky people in the industry, and for a lot of other reasons, technical reasons as well. You heard some of his music before too, right?
Big fan.
Yeah, big fan.
I think he's a promising fellow.
Yeah. Definitely is, man.
But yeah, I mean, education on the industry, education on money, education on how to make money, on how to market, how to do this properly, not properly.
Yeah, I think technical education as well as business education very much missing because where we are, people don't really focus on industries outside of tourism and certain industries.
That's a tricky thing because
this is tourism.
This is our tourism because why is Rihanna up in the airport?
Well, yes, it's true.
This is tourism. Entertainment is a part of the tourism product. We bring attention to the shores. You know what I mean? Like, you know, many people ask me, "Where's Barbados?" when I was on that trip. People know where it is now. Like Puffy winning the 3Style. Like,
yeah, definitely.
He's probably the most popular 3Style winner of all time. To be honest, he has the most views. Like, he is crazy out there. Like,
yeah, it did well for him, man.
You know, that is important to the product. So,
yeah. Well, I guess we got an idea of what to do moving forward, man. I'm gonna get these boxes to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like these boxes actually. Yeah, these eco-friendly boxes.